from censorship to groceries. This is a staggering story, Tamara Ugolini. Chrystia Freeland dropped by the local Rabba in Toronto to speak about the grocery rebate. I don't think you or I qualify. I could sure use it. I mean, if you check out my line of credit these days, I'm not, the kind of guy that can afford, a $6,000 a night hotel room in London, much like Blackface does. But what I find remarkable about this, Chrystia Freeland at a Rabba. I mean, for those who don't know Rabba, and by the way, I'm nothing against Rabba. And it's a good store. I shop at Rabba, but it's a kind of store I would imagine the lion's share of their clientele go into to pick up some items, a couple of items on their way home, as opposed to shopping for a week's worth of groceries, because the fact that it is typically a 24/7 grocery store, you're going to pay a premium. And no offense against Rabba. I mean, they've got to, pay for their added, operating and staff costs. But this is what gets me, Tamara. Why in blue hell would Chrystia Freeland do a grocery rebate presser at a Rabba, basically a glorified convenience store, as opposed to, a cut rate level grocery store like Food Basics, No Frills, that sort of thing? I think she's sending out a mixed message there, because I really don't know what the message is. Get your grocery rebate so that you can now afford to shop at Rabba.
Well, and people aren't even sure if they can afford to shop at Rabba, because she had Rabba take down, if you notice in the photos that we had there on the screen, she had Rabba take down all of the price tags of the food as she's announcing this benefit to 11 million Canadians. And to me, this is like, no, that means that there are 11 million Canadians out there that can't afford to put food on their table. This isn't a good thing, Chrystia Freeland, that you're giving 11 million Canadians this benefit one time, right? One time benefit of however much, depending on your income bracket and if you have children and if you're married and how many children. So this to me doesn't scream like, hooray, the government is here to save you. This screams to me that the government is failing at pretty much everything these days, it seems. But there was Canada Proud. Yeah, here we have this clip. They went to the grocery store after Finance Minister Freeland spoke, and they inquired about the price tags and where they were. So let's share this clip with you, because I think it's pretty funny, and it's just a few minutes.
And I am so glad to be here today at Rabba Fine Foods. And I am so glad to be here today at Rabba Fine Foods.
So I am here at Rabba, and there are no price tags on these shelves. Now you may be wondering, why are there no price tags on these shelves? Well, Chrystia Freeland was just visiting here for a press conference, and her staff, according to the staff who work here, had them removed before she spoke, and they have not yet put them back up.
Of course.
Okay, so Tamara, once upon a time, I used to write a column in Marketing Magazine, and a government presser, that is a form of marketing. And basically what the intended message was for consumers and to get out into the media was about the grocery rebate. And aren't we just so grand here at the federal Liberals that we're putting pocket in the money of Canadians? But first of all, I mentioned before, it's very confusing that she'd choose to go to a fine food store to do such a message. But ultimately, what is the takeaway? What are people talking about? Not the grocery rebate, Tamara Ugolini, but the fact that her staffers got the Rabba staffers to take down the price tags. So the first thing you say is, why? Well, maybe when you look at the whatever the fruit or vegetable was being priced by the pound or kilo, maybe it's like an excessive amount. That's what I think. But still, it speaks of a cover up. It speaks of, trying to tinker with reality. I mean, why did she even bother going to a Rabba food store, a real one? Why didn't they just hire a soundstage and make a phony baloney grocery shelf, no prices included? They would have gotten away better with the message that way. This is baffling. Once again, this deputy prime minister, this minister of finance, I really question the qualifications of this woman, Tamara Ugolini.
Well, you, myself, and millions of Canadians also questioning. And I guess for Chrystia Freeland, it wasn't enough for Canadians to just simply cancel their Disney Plus. Remember a few months ago, she told us that in order to combat inflation, we could just cancel our Disney Plus memberships and then be able to purchase some food. Well, I think based on that Canada Proud video, a flat of strawberries or a pint of strawberries was $6.99. I mean, that's pretty affordable from what I've seen these days. They go up to $8, I think because they're in season right now, but I've definitely seen strawberries pricier than that. And my kids will eat that, a pint of strawberries in one sitting. So I'm like, if I cancel Disney Plus and then I can buy my kids fruit for like a day and a half, I guess that's supposed to be a good thing. But this just speaks to how out of touch the Liberals are and their inability to see that Canadians are going to see through their play, their twisting on reality, as you've mentioned it. Yeah, here we have this article where she made the Disney Plus comment. That was in April. So just a few months ago. But I also did this write up last week where I found that Trudeau, not only does he have lavish grocery bills, which we can get to in a moment, but Canadians are actually struggling to meet the basic bare minimum requirements of our food guide, because the food guide was last released in 2019. So prior to the COVID pandemic, which involved worldwide sweeping economic sanctions and lockdowns, which caused the inflationary period that we're seeing today, I would argue. And so food affordability is off the charts now in comparison to what it was in 2019. So Canadians actually can't afford like the bare minimum of 5 servings of fruits and vegetables every day because the cost is so enormous. But as Sheila has reported previously, Trudeau's own personal grocery budget is on track to surpass $100,000 this year alone. That's his personal budget. That doesn't include his jet setting across the globe, his lavish meals when he's out at these World Economic Forum events or preaching about climate alarmism in Europe. These are just his personal groceries for the year, over $100,000, on track to be roughly $100,000. This is absolute insanity. And that is all funded by us as we struggle to put the bare necessities of our own food guide on the table for ourselves and our children. This is horrendous.
Holy, let them eat cake, Batman. That is
Seriously.
incredible. And you know what, Tamara Ugolini, I'm so glad you brought up the Disney Plus thing, because this just shows you again how out of touch this Freeland is. She was talking about this. I think she said, and correct me if I'm wrong, that in her own household, they had to bite the bullet and cancel their Disney Plus subscription. I'm not sure.
Oh, gosh.
By the way, do you know how much that is? Is it what? $16?
I think it's like
$8? Does anyone know?
I thought it was $12 a month. I don't do the Disney thing, so I'm not really sure, but I thought it was comparable to Netflix, $12, $15 a month.
So in other words, it's not even 10 liters of gasoline that you're paying for that subscription. But that's not my main point. My main point is this, and again, I might be wrong, but I would bet my life on it. And I know there's thunder in the forecast, so I'll just keep my eyes peeled for a bolt of lightning coming down. I bet you she didn't cancel her Disney Plus subscription.
No.
I bet you if I could dredge through her garbage of bills and went through her cable bill, I bet Disney Plus was never even postponed for a moment. And I see super producer Olivia is getting the Disney Plus pricing. Oh, there it is.
Here we go.
$11.99 Canadian a month.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's going to make a real big difference to what Canadians.
Well, as I
are
mentioned,
suffering.
that's 2 flats of strawberries. My kids will eat that in a day and a half. Gone.
Yeah.
Like this is not helpful at all for Canadians. Wow.
And like you said, and that reminds me of a great Three Stooges line. You're saying the lower price that we saw at Rabba, most likely because strawberries, given that it is summer in Ontario, they are in season. And there's that great line where Curly, Larry, and Moe are on death row. They're about to be hanged. And the warden says, "Do you have any last requests?" And they say, yes, we'd like a bowl of strawberries. And the warden gets really mad. Strawberries won't be in season for 6 months. And they go, "We'll wait." And he walked off the platform. Anyway, well, we better get to...
Let's just go to a quick super chat here
Yes.
from Snowy Roof, who gives us $5. Thank you very much. Chrystia, I don't think can balance her own checkbook, let alone the finances of the country. Hear ye, hear ye. Yeah, I guess this is what we get when we have a government who thinks that budgets balance themselves.
Yeah, and you know
How
what?
absurd.
If she does come into a little extra cash, and what blackface liberal isn't these days, can she spend some of that on a personal shopper, to buy her a dress that fits, so that if she's in a seated position, we don't have to get the blue dot to cover up the private parts,
I don't even want to, I don't want to go there.
Yeah, I can only think of that a Sharon Stone movie. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. It burned out the pause button on so many VCRs back in the day. Anyway,
let's go to an ad and we'll come back to our last story here.